All right, so we're going to do Ravenloft. Ravenloft has quite a few quests and quite a few traps as well. So I'm going to show you where to deal with them. But it's also fairly easy for my character because I have Tanya Brightstone. Tanya seems a bit fond of destruction for a holy servant, but she claims she merely enjoys bringing the god's wrath down upon her foes. So I'm going to go re-get my house P buffs, and then we're going to go do this. And you're going to see the power of having a higher level murdery favored soul. So that will take care of it. Meteor time? Meteor. I think you might be thinking of Diablo. You don't got meteors. Oh, unless you're thinking Comet Fall. Does she have Comet Fall? I don't think she does. I think she has Blade Barrier. Yeah, she has Blade Barrier. She doesn't have Comet Fall. She might cast Comet Fall anyway, because hirelings are kind of screwy. They'll give them extra spells, but it depends. Traps outside of that? I'm not sure. We'll find out. There's no traps in this quest, though, which is nice. Now, usually the beginning of this adventure into the mist is a little sketchy. Oh, apparently I'm out of potions of heroism, too, which is actually a huge problem, because I don't know if I'll be able to disable traps without it. So I actually will need to go buy more potions, which is annoying. And I apparently don't need Barkskin either. But the monsters that are in here usually are quite dangerous. However, wisps actually take extra damage from force, which is amazing because I deal almost exclusively force, which is great. What makes the different hirelings behave differently? The text on the hireling package. So you see how Clarife says she wants to kill people with her magic? That means she wants to kill people with her magic. It means she will choose to do that over healing you. Yeah. So you just got to read the text, and the text will tell you what the hireling does. It's in the video game. You just read the text. The text on the description tells you what the hireling will do. You kind of have to infer a little bit, like when the text says the hireling is really excited about bathing in the blood of their foes. You have to be like, what could that possibly mean? Does that mean they want to hurt people? Or are they going to heal me more often? It's difficult to know. Also, I'm feared? I'm plus 26. How did I fail that? Amazing. But that's how you know. Weather? Yeah. Way text indicates the hireling. What are you talking about? What? The actions actually do anything. Recently found out it can be altered. Yeah, you can right click on the hireling and you can customize the AI. You can basically just stop them from doing certain things. It's like, where's the wolf? It's around here somewhere. And I'll get you the weather here in just a sec. I am agitated that the weather comes right at the beginning of my solo guided hunter playthrough episode, but you know what? It is what it is. You can't you hit record and then everything goes downhill. Not downhill, but you know what I mean. All right, get him, spike growth. Do the damage. It's only doing 36, which is not ideal, but it's good enough. Ooh. All right, let's go. I'll do it now. I'm going to forget later. Responsive healer. Doesn't run out of spell points. Yep, you can do that. You can customize it. I have to go to town anyway. Made a mistake. Yeah, all you want to do in a lot of cases is turn off Universe of Light and Cure Light Wounds. But they will act like this. All hirelings do things. So if your hirelings aren't doing anything, it's probably you have them set improperly. If they're on defensive, your hireling will not do anything unless they are attacked. Sorry, or you are attacked. Which means if you're attacking monsters, they will refuse to do stuff, and they have different AI. If you set them on passive, they will do literally nothing 100% of the time and never do anything unless you command them to. And so this trick is you set them on active. Setting the hireling on active will cause them to act on their own, so they will attack monsters and also heal you and make different decisions with regards to that. But yeah, there shouldn't be any hirelings that do nothing. Some hirelings will have a desire to attack the monsters, especially like healing hirelings, with their melee weapons versus healing you, which is why you want to right-click on them and just turn off attack. So, for example, as we were talking about, Weo likes to swing at monsters with his mace, which is super not helpful most of the time. So what you can do is just turn it off so that they can't do that. And then as a result, they don't swing at them. They don't swing anymore, which is good. All right, where are we getting? Morinba. Let's get the weather. Morinba. Sweet.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special report on the weather with your host,
Your question twice?
Strimtom.
Correct. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Strimtom Weather Broadcast. My name is Strimtom, bringing you the weather from a place that is not named Strimtom. It's Morinba in Queensland in Australia. It's northeastern Australia. For those that don't know much about it, it's 15 degrees Canadian right now during the evening as we get up to a balmy 23 during the afternoon here today. Nothing too hot, although it's got that humidity, 86% right now, and climbing. So just keep in mind, it's going to be a warmer day, not for Australia, but for maybe non-Australians that happen to be out there. For those of you Americans at home, that's about 70 degrees freedom, 72, something like that. So pretty warm out there, not too bad. As we look towards the rest of the week, we've got temperatures staying pretty much stable. The 21st, 22nd, and 23rd around the same temperature. In fact, it's staying pretty much stable for the next entire week. Not a lot of variation here on the temperature. A lot of cloudy weather coming in, though. We're close to the coast, and so you got a lot of that cloudy weather. A little bit of rain coming next week, but this solstice, while it might be the longest day of the year, it's going to be the longest regular day of the year because you just got a little bit of overcast weather. And again, temperature hovering pretty much around the same every single day here. So, stay warm out there. You don't need to wear a jacket. Maybe carry an umbrella every couple of days, but for the most part, you should be fine here in Morinba in Queensland. Back to you, Shrim. Pretty warm for winter. Oh, it's a great temperature for winter. Big fan. Hey, what was your question? What is your question? Shrim, what happens if you get maximized to -2 mana? It should... I believe they patched it so it doesn't actually reduce the cost of spells. But it might still reduce the cost of spells because somebody was saying that they didn't fully patch it. But when I tested it on the preview, when they were releasing that content, it seemed to function that way, but it might not. Stack with movement and items in the haste spell. Abundant Step is an ability that dashes you forward. It is completely different than movement items and the haste spell. It's a button you press on the keyboard that causes your character to jump forward. It's like a dash. So it does stack in the sense that they are different effects that do different things. And they are not related. Like they're both kind of related to movement, but outside of that, that's about it. It's the shortest day? Wait. Is the solstice reversed? Oh, I guess that would be the shortest day of the year on the southern hemisphere. Huh. That makes sense. Equal to level called? I don't know. Are you talking about the Sacred Fist ability that gives you movement speed equal to your level? That one does stack because it comes from the character sheet and doesn't have a typing bonus. So, how do you know if something stacks in DDO? Question 1, is there a typed bonus to it? If the answer is yes, there is a typed bonus, then it doesn't stack with anything of the same type. If the answer is no, there is no typed bonus, then it's the exact opposite. It means it will stack because there's no typed bonus on it. So, to give you an example, out of my enhancement tree here, I'm going to disable these traps. There's 2 traps here. Also, you might notice I kind of hooked around this side. The reason why I hooked around this side is because if you come in this other side, the monsters, when you get to the table, will aggro on you. But by coming around this way, I don't have to deal with the monsters around the table because instead, I can just come over here and loot this, and none of the monsters spawned. There's like these guys that pop off the wall. If you're doing R10, this is the way people do it, because it's just faster, because you don't have to deal with the monsters and or other nonsense in the room. But yeah, let's look at an example. So this wolf hide says plus physical resistance rating. It doesn't say a type. It just says physical resistance rating, therefore it stacks with everything. But the builder says the Vistani capstone doesn't stack with haste. Is that incorrect? That is incorrect. The builder has a lot of... Ooh, Jesus. The builder will have a lot of bugs in it that are not perfect. It's not a perfect program. It's made by Matrim, who is a, community contributor. He does his best, but there are some bugs in it. Like I said, if you're ever unsure, just read the text. And you're looking for, like, typed bonuses. Yeah. If something says a type on it, it will not stack with anything of the same type. So you'll notice that on a movement speed effect, it'll increase, like, so for example, you've got, like, where's speed? I guess Expeditious Retreat also isn't clear, because it says base run speed, which is just as confusing, but it's an enhancement bonus to run speed. Wow. They should probably fix that, too. That's somewhere they can clean up the house. Oh, I put my hireling on freeze somewhere. I don't know why I did that. And builder? It depends on the circumstance. Sometimes yes and sometimes no. Matrim's builder is very, very, very good. It's just not perfect on everything, and you're going to find small bugs here and there. However, if you do find a bug where something is supposed to be stacking and it isn't, where you download it through the GitHub, just report an issue, and he fixes things very quickly, usually. If he can, anyway. He's been working on a new version of the builder, so I don't know exactly when. Also, it just occurred to me, I'm an idiot. I got house buffs. These wraiths like to chaincast Dispel Magic, which is very annoying. And they did, which were good. I disabled all the traps here, so we're all set, and we are good. Now, in the event that somebody is watching this, and they're like, oh man, Strimtom, you disabled those traps. I've done this quest so many times without the ability to disable traps, and I've died. Here's how you get through this without disabling it. You come to this side, because the traps are here. You jump on this. You jump on this. And then you jump to the end. And you don't take any damage from the traps if you can't disable them. But you should be able to.
The monster's around here someplace. You can smell him. He stinks.
And when in doubt, just, like, check. So, like, just put an item on, and then see if it works. Because the game will tell you this information, right? So you can go here, and you can be like, okay, let's see, movement speed. I wonder if it stacks. Well, the movement speed is telling me I have 114, surrounding error is 115, which makes sense because I get 15% from Longstrider. That is all I have, that's all I should have. So that tracks. So just always, like, if you can just verify quickly, just, like, look at the stats in-game and then check. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop some spike growths here, so they have to run through the spike growths if they want to get to me. And go to the final boss. 40 jump? No, you can't dodge every trap. If you want to learn how to get through every trap in the game, though, my solo guided playthrough for Fighter is a character that has no evasion and doesn't even have that high jump, and I show how to get through all the traps, even with those constraints. If you ever need more trap, or my solo Bard playthrough, which doesn't have that much tank, and has to also deal with all the traps. A lot of traps you can get through by dodging, a lot of traps you cannot do that. So it depends on trap to trap. Like every answer in DDO, it depends. Ooh, I got the linguistics item. Sick. Yeah. Yep, it reduces the cooldown of your like talking skills. That's just an improvement right there. Not gonna lie, that belt is a little bit better than my belt. Replace that Korthos gear? Oh, yeah. I'll take it. Siege Spider at level 19? Oh, no. That means somebody was doing the Sharn Docks quest at level 19 and died. Maybe they were going for maximum favor? I'm not sure. Alright, Bone Grinder is up next. Now, Bone Grinder has an optional chest. I think I'm actually going to do the optional chest. Because there's a cloak that's pretty good that I would love to get. It's a Constitution 6 cloak. But do I need the cloak? There's also an Insightful Intelligence item, which is also nice. So again, it's somebody else to think about. Yeah, there's also a lot of effects in DDO, like unique effects. You're never going to know, exactly where certain effects are good or bad. I should, with skill boost, be able to do this. Plus 11, plus 11. My bluff is, okay. Need a 14. Nice. Nice. Is there any chance of running Reaper today? I did for the last 4 hours. So, if you time travel back in time, you can jump in the Reaper party. Yep. Well, it doesn't have to be your bad, just time travel. And then you're all set. But, worst case scenario, we can do it again another day. And then another day. And then another day. Is there a formula for this? For stat... Wait, for stat jump for epic legendary thresholds? What does that mean? I don't know what you just wrote. Please break that down. I'm not smart enough. What specifically are you talking about? Are you talking about the stats of players? Are you talking about the stats of monsters? Are you talking about experience point gains? Are you talking about Reaper points? What specifically are you asking about when you say stat thresholds? I'm not sure what you mean. You do Reaper so I can't run it with you? That's not... I don't always do Reaper during the day. I just happened to do it earlier today because I just logged in to check some stuff, because on Monday I just checked things on the weekend because I hadn't played all weekend really, because I was just out doing other things, and so I just wanted to check it. And then when I was in, there was already a group up that was doing Reaper mode, so I was like, well, I'll just jump in and help people out. Nothing access to equivalent. Oh, monster statting. Okay, yeah, so monster stats. We don't know the formulas for monster stats, but yeah, monsters gain a lot of stats as they go up in level. It's fairly linear until legendary quests, where they pretty much just double all their numbers. Yeah, elite is about 50 DC higher requirement than hard difficulty. 40 to 50 depending on the quest. Like for example, in hard Isle of Dread, you can get by with 60 DCs. In elite Isle of Dread, you want like 110 for a lot of DCs. There's the mangled corpse, which is what I was looking for. Uh-oh. Wolves. Right. So the reason why this blade barrier thing is good is because it just gives me an extra spell to cast, plus also monsters can run through it more than once, which makes it quite useful. So I can have monsters chasing me around in the stupid forest and they die from it anyway. Yeah, we don't know the formula. It's one of the core things about DDO is that we do not have all the information. Just like in pen and paper, you won't have all the information on the monsters. You kind of just have to encounter them and deal with the abilities and attacks that they have, and try to glean some information. I missed on a 19, but I hit on a 20, so I know the armor class of the monster is 20, and you kind of work your way backwards from there. That's the best you can do in pen and paper, and that's the best you can do here. Excuse me, Valentina. I totally talked to you. I'm pulling Leonid Krasovich in and out of my blade barrier because I don't have enough spells to cast. Gotcha. Chump. Plus 20 heart. Don't remember if I got it from Gold Rose Store, but when should I consider using it? When you really hate your character and you need to fix it. Plus 20 hearts are really great for fixing a build. So it's like, imagine you're playing a character, you get to like level 12, and you're like, oh, I hate this. I can't play this anymore. And you just decide you want to play like Sorcerer or something instead. Well, now you can turn whatever it is into a Sorcerer. Plus 20 hearts are like a rescue. It's the equivalent of like an autos box, basically, because you get to reset your character entirely from scratch. The only thing is, if you are a 3-class multi-class, you have to be very careful about what you're doing, because 3-class multi-classes are kind of bricked when it comes to level swapping and stuff.
That's the last of them. Now, the pie makers within mad crackling comes from upstairs as a dredge climbs, fully formed, out of the bubbling, tarry counting of the cauldron.
Okay, I don't know how I missed with this ability, but I did, and it is upsetting me. Okay, Bella the Younger is here. I don't super care about this. I'm trying to kill Morgantha. That's all I care about. That's all I'm trying to do. Kill Morgantha. Get damn Morgantha. Get her dead. This place you have to be a little careful because the monsters can hit you quite hard with their blade barriers and other associated spells. Also negative energy spells, which suck. Which is why I'm going to be constantly refilling my health as fast as I can in between each set of attacks. And also crowd controlling as often as I can. My hireling's shrined. When did she do that?
The hags are
She got her mana back.
bitter taste of dreams cut short and hope broken.
Alright, I guess she's shrined. Sounds good. Cool.
All of the oil spreads across the floor and then catches fire, filling the windmill with billowing, choking smoke.
Those are good for skipping lives.
Time
Yep.
to go.
Monsters are hard from hard to elite, much larger than normal. Hard to elite should be about the same until you get to legendary. Epic hard to epic elite is basically the same as heroic hard to heroic elite. Epic Reaper is a dramatic step up from epic elite. Which is hilarious. Yeah, it's just weird. There wasn't even a shrine in the building. The shrine doesn't spawn until the fight's over. Maybe she could target it when it hasn't like been there yet. I don't know. It's like invisible, but she can still get it. Yeah, and I will say there's also like a different playstyle. If you notice that somebody is playing the game and they have a lot easier time than you, ask yourself like, what exactly are they doing to make their experience easier than your experience, if that makes sense. Because a lot of it comes down to playstyle and a lot of individual decision making in quests, deciding which monsters to target during a fight, among other things. I got Transmuter. Transmuter is dragons. All right, let's do it. Warning, this is a very bad idea. Oh no, I actually have to do golems as well. Never mind, I'm not doing this. I can't kill the golems. It's the only one I can't do, so I'm not doing this. So, I'm basically, when they tell you the first card determines what the dungeon is like, and you can go to the DDO wiki to determine what the invitation to dinner quest is going to be when you're trying to solo this, or just do this in general. And so I can reset it and come in and then ask her to read it again. And I get Merchant. The Merchant is Golems as the final boss, which I can't do. It's the only one I can't do. Because Golems take half damage from force, which means it would take me literally hours to be able to kill them. Because I just don't have the damage for it, and I have to kill 2. So I'm just going to keep resetting until I don't have to fight the Golems. There's only 3 total that you have to fight the Golems out of 7. Or out of 8. 7? I don't know how many there are. Anyway, I have a higher chance to not get Golems than to get Golems. Priest. Priest is not Golems, which is fantastic. So now we are all set. So yeah. I would have done dragons. It was just the problem with the dragons with transmuters, you have to kill the golems first. You haven't searched for it. It would be surprising if they were able to use the shrine before it appeared. Yeah, I agree. That sounds like that looks like that's the case. Another SP doing no damage and then chug SP pots. Mm-hmm.
But will you know which is
I actually find the Sorcerer Hirelings are not as bad. And the Wizard Hirelings, I've been pleasantly surprised by them for the most part. Guess there should be high priority. Maybe. Depends on the circumstance. But yeah, I usually pay attention to any champions that are in the room with me. Because champions are usually like a sign as to how your fight is going. So, you know, always double check if there's any champions. So the Shadows of Hate that are in here can be kind of dangerous, but they're not actually undead, which means they're fully subject to the paralyzation effect from Color Spray. So I can literally just Color Spray this guy to eternity. The other one that's with me is going to get Color Sprayed as well. And now they're both Color Sprayed, they can't do anything. Shadows of Hate have been programmed as slads for reasons I do not understand. They're also counted as neutral, which is hilarious. So they're not really affected by any of the alignment spells when they're Shadows of Hate. So you would think that they wouldn't be neutral, but here we are. Okay, so I need to go to the Ally. The Ally is on the 3rd floor. Now it says Torturer Dungeons. I'm going to show you how to get to the dungeons easy. One of the ways you can do it is go into the basement and go past Rahadin. But going past Rahadin is always a dangerous gamble because Rahadin himself is very dangerous. However, we can make it past Rahadin with no issues by going to the 3rd floor. That's what we're going to do. All the slads are neutral in this game for some reason. They literally come from the plane of chaos, and yet they are described as neutral. It's very weird. They're also not neutral in pen and paper, so I think it's just a long-standing bug. All right, so we're going to come into the 3rd floor here. And you're going to come across the room and go to the door here. Now this is great because when you come down here, you're going to notice it says to the dungeons. This takes you to the golem room. Double golems, the room I didn't want to do. However, I don't have to fight them here. You just have to walk through and talk to the lady in the torture room.
Metal statues regard the flame from either side of the room.
Cut and paste too much? I mean, that's just pretty much efficiency in general. Anytime you can save time, you're going to do it. I get that. Alright, so now we have to find the keystone in the upper servants' quarters. So we're going to do that. However, the upper servants' quarters is right here. So, contrary to popular belief, when I said don't go to Rahadin's room, that's exactly what we're going to do. It's now like a bit of a circle almost. So we're going to go through the other door that I did not come in. And it's going to lead to this room here. However, Rahadin is very dangerous, and I don't want to fight him. He does a ton of damage himself, and he has 2 Shadows of Hate that you fight. To avoid fighting him, you just hug this right wall here, and he doesn't notice. If you have any pets, they will automatically grab Rahadin, so make sure you turn off any pets or hirelings. Also, there's a trap here. I actually don't know what this trap does, but I always disable it every time because it gives more XP. But I don't know what the trap does. Yeah, like, for me, I have a custom D&D campaign. In my custom campaign, each of the players has a custom, like, path, basically. So you know how, like, as a wizard, you pick, like, a spell school in 5e? I had all of them, you know, instead he's got, like, a custom path, so I'm writing that out. So what I did is I wrote the framework for one, because I'm doing it for all the players. Then I copy and pasted the whole document so I can keep the framework the same, and then I'm working backwards on it. Because it's efficient for me.
But the icon of Ravenloft awaits discovery somewhere within the castle.
Torture Shroud? Yep. It's trapped insanely. Oh, is it? Interesting. Will all R1 heroic epic quests? All of them? I could. I'm just not. The weirdest traps in this quest? Do you mean the teleport traps in the basement? When you do the optionals? Oh, right. I don't have enough search. Eee. Alright, let's go. Oh, protection from evil is also very good here because it protects you from evil. No, it protects you from, like, different types of mind control effects, specifically the command spell, which is very nice. Did my hireling fall to the bottom? Oh, no, she did. Okay. The mine's on the table? No, I'm not sure about that one. Alright, so now we go up to the second floor to grab the priest, or the priest thing, which is the treasure. Which means we have to fight the spooky, scary skeleton that's here. And then, finally, I will be able to go talk to Strahd to then fight the extra Strahd optional, to then have not only an extra loot from the final chest, or like an extra bit of end chest loot, but also get the next treasure. Oh no, Thornrick was slain at level 28. What? What do you mean Thornrick was slain by at level 28? What was he slain by? -2 cost? There you go. So what causes that? I have no idea what the specific trigger of that is. Okay, so this guy's actually kind of dangerous. So I should have put on Death Ward before I did that, but I forgot. Anyway, I'm going to Shrine here. This is good. Does slash death? No, you can't slash death on hardcore. It's disabled. 50 mana? It's not bad. Slash death is disabled. Sir not appearing in this film. Classic character. Right. Ooh, Devotion Gloves. Not that bad, because I do like the extra healing spell power. Get my Death Ward up now, so we're all set. I should probably be using that every time, but I always forget. Disable Device 5. I don't need this anymore, so I can fully replace this with Devotion 79 Gloves. Considering I don't have a Devotion item, I'll take it. So now we're rocking 168 positive spell power. This is also maximized and empowered, so it's healing me for 26 and 52, 32. I don't have a lot of caster levels on closed wounds, which will increase as I increase in level. And then the last thing is I gotta go to the death card, which is on the 3rd floor. So this is one of the longer ones, I will say. The Treasurer. It's definitely a little bit longer than you like. That little sword that was appearing above me, by the way, it's spawned by these guys, the Restless Souls. To stop it from dealing damage to you, you just have to block it when the sword comes down. By using the block key on the keyboard. Just do the old block. You're all set. Block. Alright. And now we go into here. And the fun part about this is actually going to let me skip all the way to the end. Because the last place I have to go is the top of the South Tower. It's the last area I need to explore for this quest. And conveniently, if you do the optional boss with Strahd over here, that's actually right where that takes you. So I can just go right from there to there and kind of like move around. So I use the shrine. As I said, one of the things I'm going to be doing a lot is using shrines with this character. My spell point pool is not as high as I would like, and I only have like 3 spells I can cast. So it takes me some time. You also notice me jumping a lot when I cast spells. I didn't actually explain this a long time ago, but I guess I should. So the reason why I jump is because, 1, if you try to cast spells while moving, your character slows to a crawl. It's very, very bad. Even with mobile spellcasting, your character is basically immobile, and you're going to die to every single monster that comes to pick a fight with you. So what you want to do is you want to move while casting. And to move while casting, you jump in the air. Because when you're in the air, you don't lose height from... or you don't lose speed when you cast your spells, which is important. However, that's the secondary goal. Also, while you're in the air, monsters on the ground can't hit you. So it serves 2 purposes. So it's kind of the old double whammy, as it were. Alright, now we fight a big ghost. Alright, I'm going to put this down. And we fight 2 ghosts at the same time. It's not too bad. Hey, come here, big ghost. I find the targeting is really screwy in here because there's like this invisible ceiling that's above you that prevents you from clicking anything. So you see how I'm clicking on this? I can't do anything. But if I zoom in, eventually I get past the ceiling and now I can click it. There's like some barrier above here that you can't see. Bam, and I got nothing.
Right out of time.
That item, that chest can drop a named item. So just keep that in mind.
I have ordered
If you're ever running this and you're like, ooh, I can get a named item. Also, there is a shrine here. If you use a shrine, these witches will pop out and attack you. There's like a secret door. You can also search for the secret door ahead of time and then kill the witches before they attack you while you're resting. It's a very weird mechanic. I think it's the only time in the game where shrining causes you to be attacked. It's kind of neat.
the portrait of Strahd here is amazingly lifelike.
I don't think Strahd can do anything to me that's dangerous.
This image
But we'll see. However, I don't kill him quickly, so it's going to be a little bit of an adventure. Are there any hints for its chest drop named items? And chests drop named items. And then optionals, you just have to test it out and then know. You can also look it up on the wiki. The wiki tells you every chest in the entire game, which ones drop optionals or not. Did he cast Disintegrate in Heroics? Also, there's a trap floor. If you're wondering why I'm not going, that is why. There's a broken floor there. Anya, get him! Oh, you must face Strahd? Interesting. Yeah, on epics, he does both that and Horde Wilting, which is dangerous. I think it's because of the pit. I think she's really screwed up by the pit. I forgot how much health this thing has, especially when he makes, like, basically every save. It's almost dead. Come on, die, dude. Thank you. It's over.
from the scene. The doors to the east
Ambush and
west
offering of blood? Sort of, but it's not tied to the shrine. If you just wait there, you'll get attacked. You don't have to use the shrine. When you enter there, the game triggers a timer where you get attacked, whereas the other room is when you use the shrine, it triggers the attack. Yeah, Ravenloft has some screwy stuff. I like it, though. And that's it. Then we run up to the top and we're done. Also, if you're wondering why I'm jumping over here, it's because I'm just cutting the corner. Instead of walking individually all the way around, I'm basically just cutting the corner. I'm taking the inside track. Like I'm some type of Formula 1 racer or some shit. Zoom!
With the keystone in hand, you step through the
All right.
castle wards unhindered. You check your bags. Sure enough, the icon of Ravenloft is still there. You have
Almost there.
with a sigh of relief.
Doesn't Frayed Leathers drop from
you will
Slave Lords 2?
with Esmeralda again.
Because you say you were farming Slave Lords 3 earlier, so I just hope you're not farming the wrong Slave Lords. Because that would be very irritating if I was you. Ah, okay, cool. Is there any more? Just the bundle? Yeah. For me personally, I don't think Ravenloft's not my favorite expansion. I know why people like it, and I know why it's many people's favorites. It's just not my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna get House P buffs, and then we're gonna go run Ataraxia's Haven. What is my favorite? Probably Feywild. I think I would go with Feywild. I really love the adventures. I like the colors that are used. I like the music. I like the story. I like a lot of the characters. I only find one of the quests irritating. I really like the itemization. Fey Dark Illusionist is one of my favorite enhancement trees. Unicorns. I really like the raid. I like Hunter Be Hunted, I think. Or not Hunter, Dry the Demigod. Very fun raid. Yeah, like I like Ravenloft. I just don't... I find Ravenloft is draining, which makes sense. The theming is done very well. But I just find it draining to spend a lot of time in Ravenloft, especially with the colors. The theming is done really well. I think the adventure area is heavily underutilized for what it is. I think they probably spent too long developing it and not enough time developing what was going to fill it, and how they were going to actually do that. That's why they had to kind of cut the chase with the teleport effect everywhere, which even SSG has said that they don't like. A lot of the quests are filled with really irritating monsters. A lot of constructs, a lot of undead. And if you're like a melee, it can be a huge slog because you can't critically hit anything. Whereas in hardcore, not hardcore, as spellcasters, you just blow your way through Ravenloft. You don't even notice until you get to the golems. the Curse of Strahd is one of the best raids in the game, and is absolutely amazing. And Babala Saga is a raid that is too long. So yeah. Chances hate Ravenloft, the rest of pure gas. How many quests do I dislike in Ravenloft? I think the first chain is pretty much all good. I don't really like Yester Hill because it's just boring. It's just a big hill you run around in a circle. I don't like the Scarecrow quest either, really. I don't like Death House. Not Death House, sorry. Wachter House. I like Death House. I don't like Wachter House. Did I not summon a hireling? I thought I did. I guess I did not summon a hireling. Interesting. Thought I did summon a hireling. I really like Amber Temple. Amber Temple's a fantastic quest. I will defend it till I'm blue in the face. I really like Amber Temple. I think it's a great adventure. Okay. I'm gonna go get my hireling because I need it. Are raids soloable in DDO? It depends. Some yes, some no. It also heavily depends on your skill level because raids are not like numbers things. They usually require like specific things for you to do. And what I mean by that is it's not just like, oh, you have to kill an ad after a certain duration like in a lot of other MMORPGs where, you know, you just need to do enough damage and you can overcome anything. Sometimes you just need to be in two different places at once because, you know, a raid fight in a regular MMORPG takes place in one room, and a lot of DDO raids, even though they might be considered one-room raids, the rooms are big. Like, for example, in the raid Dryad and the Demigod, you might be able to solo it, but the problem is you have to protect this, like, Lady Hawthorne in the center while she's singing, while she's being attacked by unicorns, these corrupted unicorns, and if you don't protect her, you lose the raid, but you also have to do a bunch of mechanics on the edges of the room. Also, if you're too slow, if you get unlucky, the mechanic involves you to have to kill a bunch of guys that have a ton of hit points. And if you're too slow, you have to do extra mechanics in the form of a dance that does untyped damage that can kill you. So, like, can it be soloed? Yes. Have people soloed it? Yes. Is it easy? Not even close. Can you out-level it? No, you can't. You can't just outstat it. You need to have the strategy for it. And that happens to a lot of raids. Some raids, on the other hand, are incredibly soloable, like Tempest Spine, like an old raid. The Curse of Strahd is probably not soloable, because the Curse of Strahd is a mechanic that instantly kills people, and the only way to avoid it is to have somebody else there with you. So there are some people that have soloed it. For example, like Aldbar has soloed it, but he created his Phoenix build specifically for being able to solo the raid because it can self-resurrect 3 different times. It can't do that anymore, actually, so I don't know if that build will work for soloing Curse of Strahd. Yeah, he soloed the Dryad and the Demigod with the Acid Sork, and then afterwards said it was one of the worst... playing Acid Sork was one of the worst experiences he's ever had. Which I thought was really funny. What's the coolest wilderness zone in your opinion? I don't really like wilderness zones in DDO. I think they're kind of wasted space. So I have to pick something that... a wilderness zone... pick a wilderness zone, Strimtom. Pick a wilderness zone. Yes, run through all my crap, monsters. But I think my issue with wilderness zones is that they don't quite give you the feel of going on an adventure, which is like, you know, traveling from place to place in pen and paper D&D with random encounters and stuff. They don't quite give you that feel. And they kind of just like add playtime, but they also take a long time to make because they need all the theming and characters and spaces. So I think my favorite would probably be the Feywild Adventure Zone. I think it's small enough that you don't really need teleports anywhere, but it's dense enough with lots of different things that there's always something to do. And plus the area has different distinct parts to it, where you have like the winter part, you have the summer part, and then you have the swamp, and they're all very distinct in terms of their areas, but it's not too big. So yeah, so I definitely like that. But yeah, I'm not a huge Adventure Zone area in general. I don't know why. I've just never really liked the Adventure Zones that much. I remember when the Searing Heights first released as its standalone Adventure Zone. For those of you that don't remember, the Searing Heights did not have quests in it. Neither did the Cerulean Hills. They both released with no quests, and they were just Adventure Zones, which was because they were the first ones added to the game. And yeah, it was definitely different. Let's just say that. Okay, come through my thing. Nice, and we're done. That was easy. After Slayers are for the journals. Yeah, they do give some good stories. I agree. I will say Epic Orchard has a really good journal. The story of Vol and the Abbot is really great. It's a really, really good story. And Ravenloft also has a good story. A lot of the stories that are told through the journals is good. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Yep. A Shrek impersonation when you kill stuff in the swamp. You can do that, yep. Also true, think about how many red alerts happen in the game. They're talking about how lag is a problem because of the red alerts. How many red alerts happen in this game because people are like aggroing entire adventure zones and not fighting anything. Thunderholm, also a great story. Yep, totally agree. Actually, totally forgot about that. I do think that the adventure zones for the Reaver's Refuge are also amazing. They're extremely high quality. Like the adventure, like those ones, they're very small, they're short, they're themed to the area, and you get a ton of XP while you walk to them, so you feel like you're doing something and exploring as you go. The Reaver's Refuge 3 adventure zones before each quest is not only interesting visually, but the fact that they decided to do something like that in the first place is already just confusing and interesting. And they're really good. I like them. Big fan. It feels pretty much all Adventure Zone to me, and I know you like that game. Correct, because they serve a different purpose. Dungeons & Dragons is a game about going and experiencing dungeons, and Lord of the Rings is not. They're different games, and they have different feel. Lord of the Rings is slow. It has calming music pretty much everywhere you go. It has beautiful vistas and locations, and the world builders take a lot of time to put things for you to just look at in the distance, to explore and to find little small things. The DDO developers are making a level. They're making a big Mario level, and one that's going to have fun things to play and to find. But the problem is, the adventure zones in DDO are vehicles to quests. They, in them of themselves, are not really content. They're vehicles to quests. Now, the developers might disagree with me about this, and maybe some people in chat do. But, like, Ataraxia's Haven is a vehicle that holds quests as opposed to putting guys in town to add a little bit more context. So the quests are the star of the show, like the actual places you get to when you land. So they don't use the whole area. You lose this area and this area. There's an entire island of Ataraxia's Haven that is not terribly used. Yeah, you can get good XP. All the XP is in the overland zones. You don't level from dungeons in Lord of the Rings Online. Dungeons don't provide experience. They provide loot. So they're entirely different things. One game is designed around having the overworld feel very good, and in Dungeons & Dragons Online, the overworld is like a cool feature added onto the quests that you're already doing. I don't hate the Explorer Zones. I just think that the Explorer Zones don't do enough to make them feel quest-like. It's a clear deviation from what you're trying to do. Right? It's like, it's a clear deviation from what you are attempting to do in the game, and they want you to play this other game that I don't particularly like. A dungeon to give XP instead? Yes. Also, I feel like because the developers knew what people were doing with that, they probably shut it down. I disagree. I think that there is character to some of the adventure zones. I do think they add good context as well. Like, again, if you don't know much about Ravenloft, exploring through the adventure zone in Barovia is not a bad idea. There's tons of books and notes. You can get a little bit of context of how these places are sorted. You get to see Strahd's castle up on the hill overlooking everything. The geography is kind of cool. And there's like little trips and traps. So yeah, it's cool. It's not just the one thing. I just don't like it that much. And that's the other thing too, is also like the explorer zones the first time are cool to explore, and then after that you've explored it, so they lose a lot of their value way faster than I think quests do, because quests at least engage you with the combat challenge, where the exploration challenge only happens one time. Which is another kind of like core issue to the adventure zones thing. There's no traps in this quest. I'm just running around fighting monsters. Looking for keys. I'm looking for keys. Facing our mounted combat strike. You can also use shields.
Your thoughts become jumbled.
Shields are also technically mounted combat, because if you have nothing in your main hand, you can offhand shield bash. This guy dispelled my magic? What a jerk. I'm gonna go rehouse speed buff after this. Oh, true. You know what? I haven't done that section. I'm gonna go do the traps in this quest. I forgot about it. Self rather than how it impacts running the quest. Exactly. You like the fact that you can keep your hireling instead of having to resummon it. But if that's what you're saying about the adventure zone is something that, like, you know, it's like a positive, that's like a bit of an issue. That's pretty far down the list of things that like kind of make the thing impactful. Anyway, as I'm saying, I don't think SSG should stop designing adventure zones, because I do think that adventure zones are a really cool concept and are a core part, like going on adventures, a core part of Dungeons & Dragons. I'm not saying that they should delete them. I am saying I don't enjoy them that much, but I also know people that do enjoy them. I know several people that enjoy the fun of hunting down things in the explorer zones and going around. It's also important to note that the explorer zones are also accessible to everybody as well. Explorer zones are very accessible content. Dark Terrius, welcome back to the stream team for 22 months. Appreciate the support. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Glad to have you here. Hate them, delete them, please. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to advocate for deleting the adventure zones. Shred out of a fox. Wait, you say your dog just killed a fox? Can't you get like traps for that? I don't know how you trap foxes. We don't have foxes around here. Like we have, I think that is an animal that might be in the area, but I don't know. Does it make the world as alive outside of quests? I agree. Yeah, talking to people in town is not the most inspiring way to pick up every adventure, and so having a bit of variety is good. I didn't say feel bad. I was asking. It's a dog eat dog world out there, or I guess a dog eat fox world. You know, when an animal is a carnivore, sometimes it's got to take a risk. So you've probably never seen where I'm going to go. Here is an area of this quest that has traps, because there are traps on this treasure chest. I don't know exactly where. Ha ha ha. Also, ancient smugglers rise to protect their treasure. Too bad, ancient smugglers, you're dead.
With the smuggler guardians out of the way, their treasure is yours.
I believe that is all the traps. Now I can claim the treasure and click the piles of gold. I'm not going to do that, but if I wanted to, I could. But yeah, if a carnivore makes a bad decision and then gets eaten when it was trying to get a meal, what's what happens. They call that the circle of life. Circle of life. 5 to 7 minutes Schindel in every life. Yep. Yeah. The Underdark is kind of annoying. They're still alive. Hey, man. Hey, if they wanted to do something, if they wanted me to pay attention to them, they should be more dangerous. A lot of older quests in DDO are a lot simpler. You'll notice that obviously most of the monsters here are dying in one spell cast versus in Ravenloft it was 2 or 3. Newer quests tend to have more powerful monsters than older quests. So you got to keep that in mind. Quest and Fate takes that long? It does not take that long. You just mount up and ride up there. It takes maybe 90 seconds at most to get there from town. At most. There's no way it takes more than 90 seconds. Which you could make the argument that 90 seconds is still too long, but it's definitely not 4 minutes. There's no way. I don't believe it. It's Meteor Swarm and heal seems pretty good. Yeah. If only you could build like entirely custom characters like you can, like the monsters are. It'll be like, oh, like it'll be fight the Warforged Barbarian Shamans in Gwillenstand. And you're like, oh, cool, Barbarian Shaman. What the heck is that? And it's casting all sorts of crazy magic. And you're like, whoa, that's crazy, but that doesn't match anything that you could even make yourself. Explore zones with walls. I mean, Giant Hold, it looks cool, at least. I really like the volcanic look of Giant Hold. I'm obviously biased because Giant Hold is an old area that I like. But yeah, I like the volcanic look of Giant Hold. There's like the colored, like the purple stone and everything. It looks neat. Yep, Giant Hold also has a bunch of teleports. Very true. So here you have to be careful. The Duergar assassins have sneak attack, and they can get you right there, which is why I use the circle there. So that way they would get hit, so they would be popped out of stealth, and I wouldn't have to deal with the assassins. That amount back in the day you died. Yep. Oh, totally. Mounts changed DDO. I still remember before mounts released. I wasn't not in the mount hater camp. There was a big mount hater, like, if you were on the forums, man, there was a lot of people that just hated mounts. Like, they were like, mounts are like the worst thing ever. Developers totally wasted their time. Were nothing, worthless. I was in the, like, I don't know if we need mounts in DDO, but also every pen and paper game I've ever played, you hire, like, you get horses, you get, you know, you hire, or you get a mount to go somewhere. Like, their mounts are pretty common in pen and paper, I would say, as a general mechanic. And so it's cool. I don't hate mounts. I'm happy, you know, so it's like, oh yeah, they'll add it. It'll be kind of cool. Then I started using the mounts, and oh man, DDO is so much better with mounts, you guys. You save so much time when you have to go in adventure zones and stuff. It's the greatest. I love mounts in DDO. Absolutely fantastic. No complaints. Yeah. I don't ever want to go back. Mounts are amazing. All right. So I have one more quest to do. It's full of traps at level 10. Let's show you how to do it. Don't you find a King's Forest too large for the content it contains? Exactly, yes. That's the same reason why I'm not a huge fan of the Ravenloft Adventure Zone. It's kind of the same.
This tucked away cave entrance has
answer for which just be a monk. On the ground, I'm good. I don't think we'll ever get... I think the only flying mount we will get is something that is flying in the sense that it doesn't have an animation for feet. So, for example, they're like flying carpets, right? Because they want to add the flying carpet mount. It's not going to let you fly, but it'll be like you are riding on a carpet as you go around. I think that's the closest we'll get to flying mounts. Also, Dukep, welcome back to the stream team for 27 months. Appreciate the support. Rock on, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Rock on. I forgot I need to actually check for loot. I actually read these items. Warded Helm of Stunning. Is that even good? Reanimating of Illusion. Is that even good? City to Frosty Reception. Do you have VIP mount movement speed? All right. That's still less than 4 minutes, so I stand vindicated. I need to go get house P-buffs. On carpet leaves footprints behind, and your mounts, your wings, freshly visuals in a weird place. Yep, correct. See, I'm biased because I like Feywild and I like the music and I like the ambience, so I don't mind riding through it. Bullywugs and Gingerbread Golem, which are clearly the work of genius or scholar. A genius. Well, it could be a genius and scholar. It could be, you know, a genius and scholar and baker and frog enthusiast. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get actual flying mounts like they have in World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy and stuff. I don't think they'll ever add that to DDO. Mostly because that would cause problems all over the place. DDO is just really not designed. It's designed with a verticality of your character going up jump 40. The entire game is with that. Yeah, but that's going down. You don't go up. It's only going down. So yeah, so there's not going to be, you're not going to get a flying mount that'll let you fly like all over the city and go all the way up there and go all the way up there or anything like that. That's never going to happen. Same thing with like the fly spell. Every quest is just business. Oh, I don't want that. Okay, so we're going to talk to Inquisitive Ingram, because he gives us the quest Hiding in Plain Sight. A very trap-filled quest. I'm going to show you how to do. To farm it for gear? Well, wouldn't you love it even if you did have to farm it for gear? If it was true love, Praetor Plateau, you'd love it even on the bad days. Alright, let's go do not Beaudry. Hiding in Plain Sight. Force dragons? Like the epic level of Force dragon? I've always liked the idea of adding Force dragons or prismatic dragons. Think about Force dragons and prismatic dragons is they're basically in space. They're like space dragons, and they start at CR 40. So.
Hear furtive whispering from the far end of the warehouse.
The dragon to do what? Eat pancakes.
Boot tracks lead to this wall and then stop abruptly.
All right, so check this out. First trap is right here. Now, in here, there's a trap box. The trap box is trapped. So if I get close to the trap box, it's going to go off. The trick to this is you just use it from outside the trap. And then the trap box for that trap is actually over here. How devious. This quest is full of traps. This is safe, but this quest is this is not. Also, I gotta remember to put on my disable device item video game so I don't fail. Well, no, starting as in like that's the whelpling, the little wormling. The Force and Prismatic Dragons go up to CR 80 when they get to the Great Worm stage. Yeah, trapping the traps is a great idea. Like putting a trap where inherently the traps are trapped, or the solution to the trap is trapped. No, it's not that they can't add it. They would just need to give like a good context for it. There's a trap here? Oh, there's a dart trap. So a lot of the traps in this quest are random. Literally didn't even know this was here. And I do not know where the box is, because it's not coming up on my screen. Oh, it looks like it's over here. Dart traps basically do 0, so you don't have to worry about them too much. But yeah, I did not even know that that trap was here. Very cool. Keep going. Hey everybody, what's up? Murder time. Good job. Thank you, Tanya. Okay, so more traps here. Now these traps are quite dangerous. They're blade traps in the ground. To disable them, you have to go into this doorway, because they're going to pop out once you get over here. You're going to find the trap box, and then you're going to turn it off. The blades will follow you, but they will not follow you up staircases. Also, give them a second before they come down, because they kind of like whirl for like a second or two afterwards. You want to do it? But do you think Golafan is capable on hardcore? Yes. People have already done Golafan. A lot of people have already done Titan, the raid that comes after it. No, I don't like a Golafan. I could probably do it, maybe. It's just the trap room that sucks, and then being patient. There's also a random chance for a trap here. Looks like there is no trap, so we can keep going. Okay, and then we come up here. Get that. Same this. So there's a trap here. They're random. So whether the traps are here or not is totally random. So just keep that in mind. If you have enough spot to detect traps, that is very handy. As a ranger, I actually get an ability next level that gives me plus 10 to my spot skill. So it'll increase my spot by another 10 points, which is very, very handy. And I will be using that when I get the chance. This can be trapped, and it looks like it is. So there's a lever here. More traps. Again, this is why you want the spot check. That's why this character works fairly well, because I'm an idiot, and I forgot to put on my trapping piece of gear. So what you do is when you're not sure, you just get the hireling to rip the valve. Problem solved. Anyway, note to self. Always remember to put on the trapping gear when you click on the trap. This character took like 2 damage from that anyway, because I have lots of resistances and stuff, so I don't have to worry too much. Now for here, because I worry about spell point conservation, and because I don't have a lot of spells, I'm just going to run all the way to the end of this hallway and aggro every single spider, pull them all with me, get hundreds of them, huge piles of spiders, and then once I'm all the way at the end, then I drop, boom, the ring. And the spiders will die as they come into my ring. Getting rid of the alert, and making sure I save as many spell points as possible. So that way I don't have to worry about as many of them. Cool. I have to rebuff here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is the valve here? Lever? There we go. The lever spawns in one of these random corners. Are they up with the results? Yep. The best part about the rogue combination is that the rogue bard is you get the extra skills points from the Inspire competence. It's really nice to have. It depends. If you have a good amount of dexterity, you can usually keep evasion going through the entirety of heroics, even into high heroics. Not that bad, I find. Okay, so there's a trap somewhere down here. It's randomly spawning. Then we stop. Search. There she is. Use the skill boost that I put points into. There we go. Good job, Strimtom. Alright, now we have the Trapped Swim. Now, the Trapped Swim is not too bad. Just remember that you can't heal while you're in water. The only way to heal in water is to drink potions. So, since I have no healing potions, I got to do this in one go. Hirelings are capable of healing underwater, though, so if you have a hireling with you, you can just call it to you and then have it heal you while you're underwater. Or be like me and take like 12 damage on a save, which is less than I thought. I'm going to swim and see how it goes. To disable these traps, you have to pull a valve at the end of this. I rolled a 1. Damn, I'm taking like, what is this? 30 damage? 36? Oh, I got lots of health. I'm good. Now, at the end of this tunnel, you want to always swim into the roof because there's a blade trap at the bottom that will hit you, and it can totally one-shot your characters. You just want to swim up at the end here, and then pull this valve, and now anyone coming behind you, the traps are now disabled. So if you're like a rogue type character, you can swim through first, pull the valve, disable everything, and then you're all set.
Water drips from your body.
And then I'm good, so I can pull my guy, and then we keep going. Now there is a trap here. To disable it, the trap is all the way into this hallway, so just kind of go in between these heads so they can't get you. Also, I'm surrounded. Oh no! Oh, that was the wrong spell. I actually did not want to cast that. Alright. The box is over here, so I'm going to go disable this. Ow. Matter of reflex saves? Yeah, I actually don't have intelligence to reflex saves yet. I'm picking that way later because I'm stupid. Anyway, there's 2 traps here. There's this one, and there's a second one in the back. So this is a double trapped area. So again, going to use the skill boost to disable both traps. Roll the 1. Still succeeded. Hell yeah. And then we crack this valve. And that's basically all the dangerous parts in the quest. There's only one more dangerous part of this quest, and it has nothing to do with traps. It's actually the final boss fight. Now, usually final boss fights are not too crazy or too intense. However, here, that is the one exception because it's a council fight. There's multiple bosses you have to fight at the same time, and they all have reasonably dangerous spells. But I'm going to show you the trick to getting an advantage on them. So this is a trick for this boss fight that helps you out a little bit. Instead of climbing this ladder here like the game wants you to climb, what you can do is you can start up here. If you climb the ladder, the bosses will start attacking you as you're cresting the ladder, which means you're still in your animation when they're hitting you. Because I climbed up these boxes instead, I can jump in and start hitting the monsters right away. So I can jump in, like so, and start hitting people with damage. Also, I should put on Death Ward before I do any of this stuff, because the guys do a lot of damage. I don't think they have anything that even procs Death Ward, but just in case I should have done that in the first place. Anyway, once everybody is dead, then I can loot all the treasure, and we're done the quest. And because there's so many monsters in here, a lot of them tend to be champions, and you get extra champ chests, too. A lot of weapons. And armor pieces. Oh boy. Sonic Absorbive Sonic Resist Shield. Cool. And that's all the 10s I want to do. I don't really want to do any of the 10s. The rest of them kind of suck. And I can't do them. So, it is what it is. It only fails on a 1. Skills don't fail on a 1. Yeah. I just rolled a 1 and succeeded. Skills don't fail on a 1, because the idea is you can become so skilled that you can't fail at a task. The example I gave earlier was like a master piano player who is an absolute expert and a machine at playing piano. They will play piano, and they can't fail hot cross buns. It's impossible. They're too good at piano. Alright, gonna put some more jump. I don't want to put swim now, because my jump is going to be good enough with the jump spell. So yeah, we'll do swim instead. Swim sounds good. Get some more swim. So we can swim fast. And now I get one of my favorite spells, Wild Instincts, which is literally just plus 10 listen and spot, which is nice because the spot will help out. On top of that, I also got another 2-weapon fighting feat, which gives me another boost in health based on my combat style.
She is searching for heroes.
Okay, so
Heroes able and willing to face an unknown foe in the ancient ruins.
I don't need primal energy. I do like Wolfhide, because this is just physical resistance rating. I'm basically just going up here. I kind of want to get this permanent displacement, because permanent displacement's really, really good, and get the other stuff later. But since I'm going to get permanent displacement, that means I'm actually going to reset so I can get rid of Bend Light, because I don't need that anymore. So I'm going to reset this tree real quick, and get rid of Bend Light. So we take the cat, grab this, grab that, grab the wisdom, grab the wisdom, grab this, grab that, grab the wisdom, grab the wisdom. Then I have one more point to spend somewhere. So I just put one more point into... I'm not missing anything, am I? So it looks pretty good. Cool. So now I've got Trade Arc Explorer, grab the 3 points here, and grab the displacement. So now my character's still got 2 points remaining. And I'm going to put those into wolf hide to get some more physical resistance rating because it's powerful for me. I have to max out the wolf to do that? I guess we max out the wolf. Wolf gets more health, I guess. How was Nihilego raids? Let me show you how Nihilego raids were. Because I did want them. And I can sell. So in skill that you can't ever succeed? Correct. A 20 is not an automatic success on a skill as well. It doesn't matter how lucky you might get. If you don't know anything about installing an electrical panel, you can't install an electrical panel. Also, if you ever see how these things are grayed out, plan for this is just move it, and then it ungrays itself out. If you didn't know you could do that. You don't actually have to re-drag them out from the tree or anything. You just like move it, and it fixes itself. Okay, so how was my Nihilego? Let me show you. I got 2 things on the same day. We did 5 raids. First, wrong button. I got this Nihilego. This is a 2256. It's my space jellyfish. Now you might be wondering, why is that important? It's important because it is a, it's hard to see, but it's a 4-star jellyfish. That's right. This is a perfect jellyfish. This is my first perfect legendary. Very exciting. But wait, there's more. I also got this jellyfish. I got a shiny, which is very exciting. So I got both a perfect and a shiny jellyfish. Wowzers, dude. Unbelievable. I'm very proud of myself, so it's a good time. You have a Typhlosion? Of course I have Typhlosion, dude. That was one of the first Pokemon I ever got. Because Typhlosion is sick. So right after I installed Pokemon Go, I installed it about a year after its release because I didn't have a phone that could run it for the first year. And so I installed Pokemon Go. There I am staring at my phone, and I'm like, is that a Typhlosion in the house? And it was just in the house. It was just in my house at the time. And I was like, oh, sick. And I got myself a Typhlosion right away. Caught it. My roommate, who had been playing for a long time before me, did not catch the Typhlosion. Whoopsie. You have Bofa? D's nuts? Yeah, I do. Shiny Bidoof? I do not have a shiny Bidoof. Wait, you want the Typhlosion? Dude, there's Cyndaquil everywhere. Yeah, it's probably all the people in our chat who are like, oh yeah, the Pokemon, right? You guys that's what you guys are talking about? I know all about that. I got pinged. Why'd I get pinged? 70 check? Check if you're eligible for the 70-30 split. I didn't know that was a website. That's kind of cool. I already know the answer, but yeah. Page, revenue, click download my subscriber list right under subscribers. Upload the file below. Your data never leaves your computer. Source code here. I already know the answer to this question, but where do I go for this? Hold on. Go to the subscription review page and then do that. Okay. And then I go download my subscriber list. This may take several minutes if you have large numbers of subscribers. I don't have large numbers. Okay. I do that. Go here. Oh, that's not how that works. So yeah, I am not eligible. I already knew that. It's good to see how far away I am from being eligible. Again, it doesn't count Prime subs, which is a good chunk of my subs, which I appreciate. So I'm not upset that I have a lot of people subscribing with Amazon Prime. It is. It is very difficult. Oh my gosh, builds emote. It's good. Playing classes, a couple hotspots in your school somehow. Amazing. Someone tried to blast this and a horde of adults and children alike came running. Yeah, people still do that, by the way, as grown-ups. If there's ever, you might not notice it, but if there's ever like a day where there's like an event going on in Pokemon Go, there's special Pokemon spawning or something, you'll see people out. Yet to catch a Cyndaquil. Really? Oh, Cyndaquil everywhere, man. I probably have one. Also, you know you don't have to come to the city, right? You know you can remote trade, right? Okay, I'm in the tavern. Do this. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'll use the bathroom. And,